Back with more right here on Pittsburgh CW. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, 412-575-2600, or tweet us at KDPomp at Gene Collier. So the Penguins go down. They're in the last place position in their division, in their conference. And that's saying something, because there are a lot of teams that I would never thought they would fall behind, but they've done that right now, and they have a big game coming up again on Wednesday at home against Dallas. They're not very good at home this year. They have Columbus on the road, which is the first-place team in the Metropolitan on Friday, and then they come home. I'm sorry, it's Boston on Friday. Come home to Columbus on Saturday. So, Gene, a lot of games coming up, so they can change things in a hurry, or they could fall deeper into this hole. And one of the theories I brought up today on the radio, and I'm just saying this because it seems to me, even though Mike Sullivan and Jim Rutherford have had a lot of good, tangible success here in terms of their acquisition of players and how they utilize those players. And the system that Mike Sullivan likes has been supplied by players brought in by Rutherford. However, lately we've seen a little bit of a difference of that. For example, Daniel Sprong in the offseason was anointed as a top 6 guy by Rutherford, and he's not played all that much. Sullivan doesn't necessarily want him to be in the lineup on a regular basis. Last year, Ryan Reeves acquired by Jim Rutherford for an obvious reason. He gave up a lot to get him. Doesn't play. He's eventually traded. Ian Cole, another guy who fell out of favor with Sullivan, I thought was a very good contributor to this team. So is this too much to think that maybe they're disconnecting a little bit when it comes to roster decisions?
I don't think so. I mean, things change all the time, Bob. I mean, these are two really accomplished professionals, but, sometimes people, get into conflicts that are unspoken. Communication isn't great. That's entirely speculation on my part, but again, it's a long season. The Penguins need the kind of game that, that kind of erases some of these doubts. And they looked like they were on their way to getting one tonight, ahead 4-1. That wasn't to be. And as you say, this is a good opportunity this week with 3 games in 4 nights.
Derek Brassard did score a goal in this game. That's good news, the second game back. But again, Riley Sheahan has 1 goal this year. Rust has struggled. Sprong hasn't played. They haven't gotten a lot of production other than guys who you would expect to produce from the offensive side of the puck. Let's go out to Mike in Oakland. First up tonight. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's up, guys? Gene, Bob, how you doing?
All right, what's up, Mike? What did you got?
A couple things, Gene, about Le'Veon. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to get you indigestion on the show. So the Penguins, you brought up some good points, Bob, about getting rid of some key players. I thought the Cole trade was the beginning of kind of like the early stages of cracking open a great team. I think that was a bad trade. I don't think it helped us. I mean, I thought Reeves, for what he was there for, was pretty productive, and they got rid of him. The Brassard trade that was supposed to kind of revitalize things obviously never materialized last year when we needed it. And Murray wasn't good, and then this year, I mean, they stink. I mean, I don't know if you watched the overtime sequence.
Oh, it was terrible.
Like watching like an Abbott and Costello reel from the
puck was all over the place, falling on the ice, changes were bad.
The people that are getting off the ice. I mean, they had no clue of what they were doing, and it pretty much sums up what's happening. So I know Gene always says he doesn't care about November hockey, so I'll pose this to you, Gene. Should we care now? I mean, this is kind of at the worrisome stage here, because there's a lot of hockey left, but they can be playing themselves out of a playoff spot by the end of the month.
Appreciate it, Gene. Your response?
No, absolutely. I mean, now you're at a stage where you've kind of squandered the opportunity to fool around for 6 weeks, which is built into hockey because you've played so badly that now you're in kind of a crisis mode, or you will be for a while. I still think there's so much hockey to play that almost anything can happen. But yeah, I mean, if you're someone who is worried, who tends to worry about the Penguins, worry. Go ahead. I don't worry about them, but go ahead.
One of the things that really has to change quickly is Matt Murray. He cannot be.
I mean, this all starts really with
right. But the goaltending has been compromised because of the way they've played and because of the opportunities and odd man breaks they have allowed. They're making it hard on goaltenders by giving up great scoring chances from high real estate parts of the ice, and you just can't do that. They got to tighten up all the way. Let's go to Marilyn Munhall. What's up, Marilyn?
Hi.
Hey, Marilyn.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Speaking of bad trades, the Hagelin trade has to rank right up there with being poor.
Yeah, but Tanner Pearson had a goal and an assist tonight, so in his 3rd game, he had a good game playing on the Malkin line.
Well, he had a good game tonight, but we gave up our fastest skater for somebody who just wanted a new location.
Well, I mean, I think Hagelin had not produced a lot of what they wanted. I think this was a shake-up kind of trade to send a little bit of a message, and quite frankly, if that's the message, the response hasn't been very good, or the message wasn't well received, Gene. And I think,
and the other part of that is that Hagelin, you're right, is the fastest player they have, but he's not doing anything with that speed. He's not generating anything with it, and he's not helping generate anything with it. And you know, he deserved to be traded, I thought.
Well, the thing about him is, in a playoff situation, he doesn't have to score to be effective. But during the regular season, when no one else is scoring, it would help if he would do that. And I think, again, that was part of it. Plus, expiring contract versus a guy who has a couple of years left. And I think that was always on the mind of any general manager. Let's go to Ken in Clearfield. What's up, Ken? How are you?
Hey, Bob, Gene, how you guys doing tonight?
Good, thanks.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, the Penguins, yeah, I know. Boy, what a mess right now. I think they always wait till after Thanksgiving or Christmas to get on a roll.
I do.
But that's besides the point. There's a lot of hockey left.
Yeah, there is.
And there's a lot of the other reason I'm calling is, you guys know, I've called before. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. Mm-hmm. Last week on your show, you said Notre Dame doesn't belong in the top 4. What else do they have to do? Clemson beat Syracuse 27-23. And they were damn lucky to do it. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame blew Syracuse out. I rest my point.
Well, if you're going to use just one common opponent, I don't know how you draw conclusions on that. We'll see. The fact that Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference and has no championship game will help them, or potentially could hurt them too. I didn't want to get into that conversation today, but we were talking about, is it too early to worry? And Gene brought that up. And, hey, you remember a couple years ago when Mike Johnston was fired by Jim Rutherford, it was right around Christmas time. Right. And they were floundering worse than they are now. I'm not suggesting that's going to. What I'm suggesting is you can get things rolling. And when Bilesma took over for Michael Therrien, when was that? That was February, right? It was Valentine's Day. So things can change in a hurry. There are a lot of games left, so I don't want to talk about panic at this point. What I'm saying is they have to be better because the teams around them are better. Tampa's better. Toronto's better. Boston's good. Washington is good. Buffalo is good. There are a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference who are better than they've been, Gene, and I think you can't fall too far behind. That's all my point is.
No, I agree.
All right. Line 1, that's Tim in Imperial. What's up, Tim?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Sure.
Hey, I just want to say that this happens every time with Bosman, with everybody. Now it's Sullivan. I think they're going to make a shake-up and get rid of Sullivan. I really do, just to motivate the team somehow. They've done it for all the other years.
I understand that, and in hockey,
brought up on the TV.
In hockey, you have a short lifespan as a coach. I get that, but this is still, last year they went to the second round of the playoffs after winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. So they're not going to do that right now. You can cite Joel Quenneville in Chicago, 3 Stanley Cups, a lot of conference finals, and he was fired. But when was the last time they won a cup? Several years ago. Darryl Sutter in L.A., Gene, he had won a lot of Stanley Cups, 2 of them, I think. And it took him, I think the last one was in 2014. Right. And so 3 years later, he was finally fired. But he missed the playoffs twice in those 3 years, and the other time they got a first-round elimination.
Yeah, I was going to cite Joel Quenneville. And you cite correctly, the instability of coaching situations in the NHL historically. But I don't think Mike Sullivan's going anywhere for a while. No, I think that, but they got to do something at some point. You can't fall too far off the path here. And clearly Rutherford was agitated 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah.
So nothing has changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. So we're going to take a break here. We'll come back with more of your calls. It's 412-575-2600. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We do it 7 nights a week right here on Pittsburgh's CW, and we'll be back right after this.